How do we get back into the zone? All right, that is the question for number 103 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties of the Tree of Life. If you'd like to uh, get the entire listing of all 144 fractal faculties in abstract form, just click the link in the description. I'll send that out to you for free. And it's helpful, especially for the first 84 or so. Some of the ones coming up later, including this one, have been juggled around a little bit. Today is number 103, and I believe it's actually listed as number 100. So there's a few of them that have been juggled around a little bit, changed a little bit, but the first 84 are pretty solid, except for maybe two of them. And it's helpful to just have it when you watch my videos, just to be able to refer back and compare and contrast. Also, watch my video called Tree of Life, an Introduction, for a 10-minute video, just to refresh your memory on how the Tree of Life works. And you'll be able to plug that right into watching these videos too. Okay, now, if we look at the tree, we just remember the Tree of Life is a map of our consciousness. And each one of the spheres or circles on the tree is an aspect of our consciousness, or a faculty, or an ability, a potentiality of our consciousness. And so as we move up the tree in our spiritual evolution, we gradually access the different spheres on the tree. Some of us get further than others. Some of us don't get far at all. But each one of us at least has a little bit of experience with these lower four and really lower five. Most people have opened up the 10 and the 9, and then a lot of people have opened up the 8, and then that's when this kind of spiritual quest comes in to open up the higher ones after that. Now today we are way up here in the third sphere. The third sphere is one of our divine faculties, omnipotence, all powerful. And then the second sphere is omniscience, all-knowing. And the first sphere is omnipresence, all-present. So those are our divine faculties. And the third sphere, omnipotence, has to do all-powerful. This has to do with a sound synchronization. This whole side here is sound. This is really visual. And the sound synchronization is primarily can be done through sacred music, but also through mantra, chanting mantra. So using the pattern of mantra over and over and over and over again, called japa, we are able to conjure up images in our head that relate to really each one of the spheres in particular, but other things too. But each one of the spheres has a specific letter of the alphabet, or really a syllable, that it relates to. And then if you plant it in the ground with using the letter M or NG, you plant it really in the ether, then it becomes fertile. And the more you chant it, the more you are kind of on that wavelength of that sphere. So the ninth sphere corresponds to the VA letter, and then so Vam or Vang is what you would be chanting over and over again. And if you get it into the right rhythm, you'll gradually begin to kind of accumulate that feeling inside of you, and so you'll be able to bring that out when you need to in the course of your life. Okay, and then the third sphere also is related to the seventh sphere, and that at the seventh sphere we finally declare our mission in life. What is our secret mission or our higher calling in life? And the third sphere is really like the culmination of that. So we use the third sphere to tap into all these different aspects that help us along our path in life, our higher calling. And by the third sphere, we have become adept enough to actually fulfill parts of or all of our higher calling. Okay, now the third sphere, like I said, is one of the 12 aspects of the tree of life, or the 12 faculties of the tree of life. Now, how do we get from 12 to 144? We take it to the second power. So 12 times 12 is 144. So what we're doing is we're taking the whole tree and imagining it to be shrunk down to the size of just one sphere. And then we apply it to each sphere. So we are basically breaking down each sphere into its 12 mini faculties or fractal faculties. So within the ninth sphere, we have a mini 10th sphere and a mini ninth sphere and a mini 8th sphere and a mini 7th sphere, or fractal 7th sphere, whatever. And so, we have 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, for a total of 144 different fractal faculties. So up here at the third sphere, we're doing the same thing. We put a whole tree on there, so we broke down the third sphere into its 12 components. And for number 103, what we're doing today, we are looking at the fourth fractal of the third sphere. So the fourth sphere, the mini fourth sphere within the third sphere. So remember what the fourth sphere corresponds to: cosmology, our faculty of law and order, our sense of law and order. And so this is usually written down in ancient and modern cosmologies, theories of everything, grand unified theories that attempt to talk about how everything, originated, what everything's purpose is, and how it all relates together. And we are able to tap into this through very rigorous and disciplined study, along with intuition, being able to go inside once we've done all that studying, all that background, and then be able to go inside and ask ourselves, how do I put all this together? How does this all fit together? So those are things that are related to the fourth sphere. Also, we have, along with that, universal law, universal love, universal language. Universal love is the ability to love your enemies, to seek nothing, to give seeking nothing in return. And universal language, the languages that are innate. You don't have to study them or go to school to learn them. They're just within you already. And body language, and various things about math and geometry, things that you can just sense, ways of communicating. So that's a universal language. So all of that is really wrapped up in miniature here in the third sphere. So we take the greater third sphere, that omnipotence, and then we look at the aspect within that has to do with this universal law, language, and love, and cosmology. So all of that goes into the makings of number 103, which is called Relit Through Smoothing Over. Now you remember at number 99, the groove that we got into with the mantra chanting was snuffed out because we were awestruck. We sensed an awesome power, and that awesome power kind of got us awestruck. We were too unaccustomed to having that sense, and so we kind of panicked, or we started to orient ourselves and say, oh, this is what's happening to me, this is what's happening to me, instead of just going with the flow. So here we're relit through smoothing over. Stage number 103 is about being poised enough in the delicate balance of synchronization to regain it and sustain it successfully. We'd love to be able to operate at that level of self-control. Relit through smoothing over, the mantra. Each one goes on all the time, whether we are chanting it or not. We fell out of tune with it, but all we have to do is fall back in tune. Start the mantra again and again. If we are in tune with our personal mantra, then no insecurity can come into our heart. Sustained use of it will bring devotion. All the little moments we get are the perfect time to perform mantra. You know, waiting in line, sitting on the phone, waiting. Anytime that we have extra time, we can just go into the mantra. Through devotion to mantra, we form standing waves from chanting. Access chanting gets us back into the grooves of chanting, the optimal timing. We get deep into it and experience the awesome power. But then we start congratulating ourselves for being such a good meditator and so spiritual. By the time we realize it, we have slipped out of the mantra zone, snuffed out. Once we notice, though, we must practice menab. Keep the heart still and gently start over without any residual guilt or recrimination for slipping out in the first place. Mature and practice not indulging in following up our thoughts through identification with and devotion to the higher self inside. Mature and don't indulge the hedonist's bliss. Instead, stay focused on business. Make a seamless transition and begin again to regain visitation. And this time, sustain the visitation until it becomes possession. We have to love to be able to exercise that kind of control. Success comes from the joy and devotion we have for the truth, not the other way around. Stick to the truth, stick-to-itiveness on the mantra by fully enjoying pleasures, yet limiting them. Pleasure is a release of pressure toward equilibrium. Release and do not indulge the thoughts of pride either, because holding on to them will move us away from the equilibrium that we need for the mantra, from the calm state. Thoughts do not disrupt the calm waters, but following up on thoughts will. We can absorb the blow of the one thought if we fully enjoy the blow, but also enjoy laying off the impulse to follow up on the thought. Only through experience will we develop thought discipline. So now, after the awe strike, we have more ability to absorb a blow, to damp the amplitude of thought, lower amplitude of fluctuation. The interference is not so loud, so we can stay in the chant. Chanting is working long term, tuning into the naturally occurring null nodes and continuing to hone in. No joy in patting ourselves on the back again. Rather, we are hungry instead for really getting the science of mantra, getting into the zone of mantra and staying there long enough to manifest its potential. Okay, that is the the fourth fractal of the third sphere, number 103, relit through smoothing over. And we talk a lot about mantra there. Those same comments would apply towards sacred music as well. We're trying to kind of get into the groove, into the zone of the music itself, and but when we do that, we have tendency to kind of get awestruck, and so we have to be able to kind of calculate that beforehand to recognize that that's going to happen to us, so that we can, prevent that. We can recognize when it's happening, and instead of falling out of tune, go back into tune. Okay, so that is the number 103 for today. Please stay tuned. I'll be rolling out number 104 on this list in the next day, and hopefully some more videos on different subjects will be. I'm working on them. It's taking a while. Everything takes longer than you expect, and but they'll be coming. So stay tuned for that as well on this channel. Again, if you'd like that list of the 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description and I'll send that out to you. Otherwise, you could also donate to me through Cash App or Venmo directly if you'd like. Those addresses are in the description. Otherwise, have a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you soon.